Where I'm from, stories aren't told in a hurry. They're told in the shade, under a palm tree, away from the heat, away from the noise, where everything slows down just enough to remember. Here the land carries more than footprints. It carries moments, people, generations, and sometimes one quiet story is all it takes to feel connected again. I'm Dina, and this is Under the Palm Tree, a podcast where I share stories inspired by Saudi culture, everyday lives, and the warm heritage. So sit with me in the shade and let's tell a story. Today's story is about a man who traveled across Saudi Arabia discovering the music, dances, and celebrations of each region, learning some unexpected lessons along the way. This is The Journey of Sounds. I didn't plan this trip. I just knew I needed to get away from everything that felt like it was rushing me forward. So I grabbed my bag and my car and let the road decide where I would go next. My first stop was the south. The mountains there rise like they're holding the villages in their hands. I was wandering through one when I heard it for the first time. Drums. Big, deep, steady drums that felt like the land itself was breathing. It was at Arda Janubiyya, the southern Arda. Men moved shoulder to shoulder, swords catching the last bits of sunlight. I watched as someone handed a man a sword, and it seemed like every beat of the drum hit his chest like it was sinking with something deeper inside him. And right then I realized, dignity isn't just an idea. You feel it in the rhythm and in the way people hold themselves. A few days later I found myself heading north. The desert stretched endlessly, pale and quiet. A campfire lit up in the evening, and I stumbled upon Fenarufehi. The rhythm was steady and grounded. I stood there, listening and watching, admiring how everyone moved as one. When I joined in, it didn't matter if I matched every beat. What mattered was the circle, the warmth, and the way tradition holds you without asking who you are or where you're from. Westward I went into the streets of Hijaz. The alleys were alive with incense, fresh bread, and oud. Every corner told a story. At night, someone began playing the Hijazi Mizmar. People laughed, clapped, and spun, and I let myself move with them, letting the music guide me. Sometimes joy is just choosing to join in, even when it scares you. As I made my way deeper into Najd, the landscape shifted, with wide open plains. I stopped in a small town just before sunset when I heard slow drums, steady and deep like a heartbeat echoing through the streets. I followed the sound to a courtyard where a group of men stood shoulder to shoulder, swords raised, moving in perfect rhythm. The poetry they recited rose and fell with the drums, old lines passed down through generations. There was pride in every step, every lift of the blade. I stood there for a while, just watching. It felt like seeing history breathe right in front of me. Finally, east to the sea, the breeze smelled of salt and old wood. Fishermen hummed a slow go mawide, voices rising and falling like the waves. I sat on the pier, watching nets being mended, seeing patience in every motion. By the time I started driving home, my shoes were full of sand from every place. My clothes carried incense and sea air, and my ears still rang with drums, flutes, and laughter. I realized culture isn't something you read about. It's something you feel. A rhythm, a scent, a sound that stays with you quietly if you pay attention. Every region has its own song. Every journey leaves a mark. And if you listen, you can carry it home with you. Thank you for sitting with me under the palm tree today. If this story reminded you of a place, a person, or a small quiet moment from your own life, carry it with you. It's worth more than you think. Join me next week for another story from home. Until then, stay grounded, stay gentle, and may your days always have a little shade.